2.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, you're extremely welcome. I'm Jane and my husband Mike does everything behind the camera. We're British, early retirees, we have no debt, we've paid off the mortgage, and we live a thrifty, frugal and money-saving life here in Aude, the Occitanie region of the south of France. And every Wednesday we invite you in for a mid-week money chat. Now, if you know the channel, you will know we have just relocated to a new home, and we are going to spend a bit of time figuring out how we're going to afford to live here, how much our bills will be, how much the running cost of this house will be, and that's what this chat is about this Wednesday. Us sharing with you the things that we do know, the bills that we do know, and the things that at this stage are pure guesswork, and that's what we're going to be sharing with you. Now again, we're filming this whilst we still do not have internet. By the time you watch it, we should have fibre installed. So this is all in one take. You will see me drinking water, you will hear my dogs, a car might pull up outside the road here, anything might happen. But whatever happens, I'm going to do this today all in one take, and I'm just going to roll. I might have a hornet land on my head. There's a lot of bees around today. So let's get started by sharing with you the bills that we absolutely do know. Now, we have property tax for this property, and it's called taxe foncière, and we know it's 750 euros for the year. That's fine. That's exactly the same as we paid for our previous house. We then know the tax. There's a small tax we pay 3 times for the refuse and recycling, and that's about 200 a year, maybe a little bit more when we get it, but it's about 200 a year. The next one is water. In our previous property we had a septic system, so we only paid for the water supply. Now we're with the same water company, so we're pretty much sure that we're going to use the same amount of water. But then we're going to have our bill doubled to pay for sewerage and wastewater disposal as well. So that will go up from about 250 a year to 500 a year. And you might be thinking to yourself, that's a big jump, Jane. How are you and Mike going to cope with that? Now, because our bills were lower at our last house, I wouldn't say we were as super frugal with water as we could be. But here we are going to be. So things like saving the shower from the water by standing in a big trug and using that to flush the toilets, using the rinse water from my dishes to water any plants I put in pots outside instead of running the tap. So all those water economies will be used. The next one is our electricity bill. Now here in the town that we live in of Quillon, there's some historic old ruling set aside by the French government, goodness knows how many years ago, that if the little town makes its own electricity, as it does here from hydroelectric, they are allowed to keep the monopoly. So we have opted for their tariff simple, which means day or night, all year round, we pay 20 cents per kilowatt hour, and that's including the tax. I think without the tax, it's about 14 cents. The rest of it is tax. So we previously had a tariff called Tariff Tempo. So on the surface, it might appear that our bill will increase by 33%. But there's this. In our last property, we did most of our cooking throughout the summer months with electricity. Here, my top burner on my cooker, we call here a hob. Our hob here is gas with a gas bottle. It's pretty economical, it lasts a long time, it feels full. So I will be able to measure now how many months I will use my one gas bottle for my hob. And then I can come back to you when that finally runs out and say to you, oh, that lasts 2 months, oh, that lasts 3 months. And then we can start and work out what it costs us to use the gas hob. Now, another part of electricity you will know if you're familiar with the channel is that Mike and I use a lot of solar. So we put out solar panels, we use solar batteries, and we use that on the washing machine. We use that for things like the air fryer. And we will do that as much as we possibly can. We've had a really sunny day today. And if our solar boxes were here, they're en route, they are en route, we would be capturing the sun today using that. So if your question for me is, how are we going to cope with the extra cost per kilowatt hour? It will be to maximize the use of solar and to really eke out the electricity that we are going to use. Now, to share this with you, in Brittany, we heated the house October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, and into June. So we were heating our house with 2 wood burners, one in the kitchen, one in the living room, for 9 months of the year. Just pause whilst the vehicle goes past our little road here. 9 months of the year. We will need heating here for 3 to 4 months. And we are going to need cooling definitely for 2 months. So you're going to say to yourself, how are you going to afford that? When we were in Brittany, we used the wood, which was $800 a year. We also had supplementary portable gas heaters. The total cost for all of that was $1,200 a year. So we are prepared for the fact that we will spend money cooling, and we are prepared for the fact that we will spend money here heating. We're going to start making preliminary inquiries about having a pellet burner installed. It is expensive, but they are quite economical to run once we have it. So those are unknowns. We do not know. We've spoken to neighbours today and they said, well, it's really cold here in the winter, but the winter is short, but it's really cold. So that is an unknown. That is come back to me next summer and ask me how much did we spend heating the house. Because just like our house in Brittany, we will heat the areas that we are in. When you watch the house tour on Sunday, you will see how we'll be able to heat 1 ground floor and be able to manage that. Now, things like our bedroom, we would have maybe a small electric radiator in there. And if we absolutely need it, we might switch it on for half an hour before we go to bed. We hope not to need it, and we plan to just warm our bed with an electric blanket. The next part of this where we feel we will spend less money is here. We have a 200-litre water tank, whereas in our previous home, we had a 300-litre water tank. So this tank will cost less to heat, but the electricity is more per kilowatt hour. I don't know why I can't say that today.
It's a tongue twister, my love.
I don't know, perhaps I need a drink of water. I did say to you I would be drinking water. So there we go. The next one that is obviously a cost is our food costs. Watch the haul on Friday, because we will share with you how we feel we are going to fare better here with food. It's a bit cryptic, but watch on Friday. And at the moment, we're going to keep to our old budget of €400 a month. That's for all food, all drink, all toiletries, all cleaning products. If I need a pot of moisturiser, everything. But I do feel once I've built up a good supply, because I shop the sales. When shower gel or shampoo is on sale, I stock up on it. When toilet roll is on sale, I stock up on it. And I build up what I would call a really good rolling stock, which means in about 6 to 8 months' time, I will be able to cut that back to 300 again. So there we go. I do hope you find that interesting today. It's been a bit of sort of stream of consciousness, really. Dogs shaking, cars going by, all of that kind of stuff today. Jane drinking, of sharing the cost with you about how are we going to afford it. And you know us, we are thrifty, we are frugal, we do budget carefully, we will be monitoring our water usage, we will be monitoring our electric usage, we'll be monitoring all of those things carefully. We will come back and share with you in quarterly. So we will come back in 3 months' time and then 3 months after that and share with you how our household expenses are going and how we will be managing to keep our usage low, how I will be building a pantry. I should be sharing that with you over time, and how, and also the things that we don't know at this stage, like how much is it going to cost us to heat the house, and especially in the summertime, how much is it going to cost us to cool the house. Watch the shopping haul. You'll find that interesting. Definitely come back on Sunday and watch the house tour, because there will be those little conversations with you about cooling and heating in particular that you might find interesting. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure that you're subscribing, notification bells. See you again soon. Bye everybody.